Hi, Courtney here today to talk about smart credit card usage and when to use credit cards to actually make money or get travel for free. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but to be honest with you, I have been a little hesitant because friends ask me all the time who are getting out of debt how I do this, but it's not really something that I recommend for people who are in debt. So let's talk about how to make money with credit cards, when to use them, when not to use them, the pros and cons, and some tips to help you do this smartly. So I'm going to say first, if you like this content, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. It helps other people get this information. And yeah, it just helps other people. And I like that. That's why I do it. Okay, so what I do is I just started this a couple of years ago, and I'm going to get into the pros and cons maybe a year ago. And what I do is I follow on the podcast ChooseFi. That's where I've gotten most of my information. They're not the only people that talk about this, but they have a ChooseFi travel rewards, and then they have one for cashback rewards. So I'm just going to tell you, I don't spend a lot of time on editing or filling out all of the information below. I'm just going to tell you, ChooseFi, write that down, podcast, look for credit card rewards. That's what you're going to want to look up. Now, I would highly recommend you listen to the podcast associated with that. There's a free course on how to do this. I did all the things before I went and got credit cards because I had taken a really long time to get out of debt. The last thing I wanted to see was a credit card balance building back up. And so I'm going to tell you how to do this. But again, please, please, please study this before you do this. So what I do, you have to have very good credit to do this. And what I do is I get a credit card that has a good bonus offer, and you'll get these in your email and stuff. If you have good credit, they'll come, check them out and see. So if I know, and right now we're not going anywhere, right? If I know that I'm going to St. Louis in 6 months and I'm going to a conference and I'm going to need to stay at a Hilton, I will look for a Hilton hotel or Hilton Honors credit card that has bonus points on it. And those bonus points are usually somewhere between $300 and $600 in rewards points. And how that works is you take out that credit card. Again, you have to apply. There are a lot of nuances about should you put your partner on the card with you if you have a partner. But you apply for the credit card, and there is a spend that you have to spend within the first 3 months of having that card to get 3 to 5 months to get all of those bonus points. So whereas you might spend $1 and get a point or something like that, and it takes a lot of points to fly or travel, after you spend the first 3,000 or 5,000 over a 3-month period, then you will get all these points, and it's like having $600 in your account that you can spend. And so I've done that. I have various credit cards now. I've done that with the one that's for like Holiday Inns. That's the IGH card. I've done that for the Hilton Honors. I've done that with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Chase Business Inc. You have to have a business for that. I'm trying to think if we have another one. I have an Amazon card, and I do not keep balances on any of them, and I use them strategically. I will tell you, first of all, the benefits of this, but please don't stop watching after that because I want to tell you the pros and cons. The pros are, like when the pandemic hit, I had all of these points that I was going to use to travel. And on the Chase card, you can cash those in for cash. So I had a balance of $465, and instead of paying that, I just cashed in my points and used that to pay it, and used the balance to pay for groceries and things like that. So that was free money. I just had to spend. We take those cards, and what we do is when I get one, everything goes on the card. And I don't do I think of it just like having my debit card. I don't go out and try to spend money on the card to get those points up there. I buy my groceries, I buy my gas. I don't change anything. I have one card, my Chase Sapphire Reserve, that has, it's my favorite card. It gave me a bunch of bonus points from the get-go. but it also gives good cash back rewards. And so it's $100 a year on the fee, but I will use that one for all of my residual expenses that happen over and over. Like my internet bill is on there, my Netflix, my Prime. That way I keep earning points from things that I would spend money on all the time. Our cell phone bills aren't because they're tied to our business account, but like my son's cell phone bill is on there. The things I pay for him. I have a son that has a disability, so I do a lot of his support. I have had, so in the past year, I earned a total of about maybe 20 hotel nights. I was able to get a ticket. I have right now $600 in airline rewards. These are interchangeable, so you could use them for hotel nights, but I'm just telling you what I've used. I gave my son $154 towards an airplane ticket. My other son, I have paid for a couple of his airplane tickets to come home from Washington, D.C. I have got some money off an airplane ticket myself when I flew home from D.C. Recently another son, it's really helped me because I have kids, and even if I haven't been traveling, they've had to do some travel, and one thing I can do for them is provide them nights. I would say we've earned about 20 nights. I have probably about 15 left right now in nice hotels like Hilton, Hampton Inns, and things like that. And the higher the hotel or the more luxurious, the more points you're going to use. But all of that is by taking a card, buying what I would already buy, and then paying it off monthly. I never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, do I carry a balance. And so cash back and travel rewards. And you need to study this. I don't have time to explain it all how it works, but that is what I do. And I never carry a balance. The pros of that are those things. The cons are that it can be very confusing to keep up with. I would not start by taking out just a bunch of credit cards. You want to start with one. Use it for all your expenses. I would recommend the Sapphire Reserve. I think that's what it is. And again, it's on that ChooseFi rewards. They give you the whole list of which ones to do. And then get your rewards points. Those you can use for money, or you can use for things like travel, airlines, hotels, also car rental. It is hard to see, the next con is it is hard to see a balance when you've spent so much time paying off your credit cards and then all of a sudden you have a credit card balance. So that is hard to see if you've been debt free for a long time. That kind of shook me in the beginning. Now I don't think about it. So studies show that people who use credit cards are 17% more likely to spend 17% more money than if they weren't using a credit card, if they were using cash, because cash hurts. I would say that is probably true. However, I am, we're in a society that's kind of cashless, and right now with the pandemic, I don't want to be touching cash. I wipe that credit card off and disinfect it every time I use it now. Use that credit card for things that you would use your debit card for, but definitely use cash for things where you think you might be spending extra money. Now, I will say I have an Amazon card. I've been ordering from Amazon a lot lately because I don't want to go to the store, and I do get a lot of reward points back on Amazon, but Amazon's kind of like the black hole of, oh, I've got $20, I can afford that. So you have to know yourself. You should under no circumstances do this. If you are paying off debt, wait till you are out of debt. Some people have done it. I don't recommend it. You'd have to be extremely disciplined. I don't use credit cards anymore for business expenses because our accountant was charging us extra to reconcile the business expenses from the credit card, and that may make sense for some of you. It just didn't for me because it was substantially more by the time she reconciled all that. So I have all of our business expenses coming out of business accounts now. So the cell phone comes off the debit card for each business account, etc. Some tips are, you always want to have the money in the bank that you're spending. You should not be floating from month to month. Like, you shouldn't spend $2,000 thinking you're going to make $2,000. So I always have the money in the bank that I am spending, meaning I could go and get cash out and go buy $400 worth of groceries. Not that I would, but you know, if I'm putting that on that credit card, I could turn around and pay it today if I need to. I keep a hefty balance in my checking account, knowing that I could pay everything off 100% today before I spend a penny. You don't want to get to where you're floating credit card debt, because then you're one step away from something happening. And that's what the credit card companies, they're smart. They know we're not gaming them. They know they're counting on you to not make your payment, and then they're going to charge you that 26%. So make sure you have the money in the bank and look to see what's being rewarded. With the pandemic, I'm not working on extra reward points. I have so many built up. I don't need to mess with that right now. The Chase Sapphire Reserve gives me double or 3 times the points. I think it just ran out this month for groceries and gas. So I got that. I was using the Chase Business Inc. to get points on to get all the reward points. But now that I'm not trying to get a bunch of reward points, I'm just back to using that one because it has the most cash back on a regular basis. So go online to Chase if you have a Chase card or whoever it's with. And I think Chase is the best, to be honest, as far as rewards, and see what they are rewarding you back. So like, if you know that if you go to a restaurant, which you probably wouldn't right now, or you order out and it's double the points, you know, you might want to use the card to pay for that. But be very careful doing this. I would say I have gotten thousands of dollars in benefits in the past year doing this. Have I spent a little bit more money? I don't know. Maybe at times I am so frugal, and I was on a debt payoff train for so long. I feel like I'm saving aggressively. We're paying off our house aggressively. We cash flowed an Airbnb that we built. We make a low 6-figure income, but we just got to that point like 3 years ago. And my husband's 62 and I'm 49 and a half. So, I mean, we were on the struggle bus for a long time, making about $50,000 together. Before that, before we got married, you know, we were doing decent, but when we started out, neither one of us was making jack squat 9 years ago. So if you're younger, like you're in your 40s, or you're not in a higher income bracket and you're extremely disciplined and extremely frugal, this is a great thing to do. But be very, very careful as you do it. Learn as much as you can. And yeah, if you have any questions, just ask me. So ChooseFi, credit rewards, look, credit card rewards points, cashback rewards, and travel rewards. Alrighty, thank you for being here. Bye-bye.